What a difference a week makes. Last week on this channel, we were talking about getting worried about Eustace. This week, 2 games, 2 wins, 6 points, and we're looking up the table. Welcome back to Where Rams Walk. We're also talking about the return of Langas and what a difference he makes. We're appointing our October Player of the Month. Halloween means we're talking about what's the worst horror show you've ever seen at Derby County, and we're continuing with our A to Z of the Rams by looking at the letter D. Well, I hope you're doing well. I tell you what, we've all got a bit of a spring in our step this week, Luke, haven't we? Beating QPR on the Saturday, winning midweek as well. What's been the difference?
I'd just first like to say what was we worried about? What was we worried about? It was always going to come good. No, so midweek, first off, it was just same as Oxford. I thought, here we go. It's going to be an absolute dreadful game of football. But credit to John Eustace, knew what he got wrong, changed it to a back three. Langas came back in, and it was a completely different team. He gave Max Johnson the space to run forward. He was a lot better that second half, and it just makes us look a lot more solid. And seeing it Saturday as well, he just makes us look a complete different team, and you could tell by the performances.
Yeah, we'll get into some social media takes in a second. But Stacey, just go back to the Norwich game first of all. Before we talk about QPR, the Norwich were pretty decent in the first half, weren't they? Didn't really get a kick. Is that we need to, like Luke's done, a bit more credit on Eustace's name here for recognising that and changing it?
Yeah, the first half, like Luke said, was just a carry on, a continuation of the dreadful abject performance that we had against Oxford. Switching to 3 at the back, Langas coming on. He just shows fight and spirit, and he really seems a real confident player, even though he's not had a kick so far this season. And things just seem to then gel, and everyone seemed a bit more confident with Broton Diaz moving to the right, to the left, going down the left, and it just made a difference. It seemed that people were in the right positions for a change.
Yeah, super. Let's look at some social media takes. Then Peyton, this one here from Claire says, 1,000,000% we are better with Langas in that team. Unrecognisable to the Joss we've been seeing before. I never felt worried at all today. Come on, you Rams. Yeah, 100% better with Langas in the side. Do you agree?
I mean, I 100% agree. I think with Langas in the team, we looked like a completely different team. I was watching one game in the first half against Norwich, and the last 135 minutes of football I've watched for Derby have been completely different. However, I think Langas actually hasn't been as good as we thought he would be. I thought he made a couple errors on Saturday. I noticed little errors, nothing too big, and it didn't cause any problems. But I feel like everyone else just looked better with Langas in the team, even though Langas wasn't at 100%. And I think that definitely shows. I think the 3 at the back, for one, is clearly the better system, and I think it also shows the confidence Langas brings to everyone else in that team.
Yeah. If you're new to the channel, by the way, welcome. It's 20 minutes weekly of Derby County chat. Let's look at some more social media takes then, Luke, shall we? This is a continuation of our... Chris says, the letting go of cash-in and using the money to sign this guy has been totally genius. This is how you improve year on year. And Derby tweeting it, how good is it to have this man back? Do you see a year-on-year improvement? And by the way, Cashin is not getting great reviews from Birmingham City fans. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Cashin was fantastic for us, young player, come through the academy. Everyone loved him, but I just think with the way Langas has come in and just cemented it straight away, it looks like really good business. And I'm going to say it now: if he keeps playing like this, we're going to have to enjoy him while we can, because someone's going to be sniffing about when they look at him, because he has been absolutely phenomenal for us.
Yeah. Here to that. Here's another one, Stace. A brilliant win, Stace. The most complete performance of the season by some distance. We were strong in defence and inventive in midfield. And Morris is a colossus. Yeah. Talk to us about Morris, please.
Yeah, it's after those dalliances in the playing behind the striker in Agibang, for him to go back up front and lead the lines made a huge difference. He holds the ball, brings players into play, he causes defenders no end of problems. So yeah, it was good to see, and I can't disagree with that. It's definitely the best all-round 90-minute performance we put into QPR to not really have a shot. And Zetterstrom, who's usually been kept really busy and pulling off save after save after save, did nothing. And big mention as well to Bobby Clark in midfield. I was a bit sceptical it might be a bit lightweight, but him and Ozo complemented each other really, really well. Both comfortable on the ball. Again, there's that drive forward that I think sometimes we've missed when Ibu and Travis have played, and it was just the perfect team performance yesterday, really.
Yeah, our next tweet highlights are just that. This is from Jacob. Back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets, Peyton. Finally some rhythm. Bobby Clark was fantastic today in that central role, as was Matt Clark at the back. Something really positive to build on now ahead of Sheffield United. 6 points a week. I'm absolutely buzzing. Yeah, is he right about Bobby Clark? Was that one of his best games that you've watched him in?
I think it just shows that he's a central midfielder and not wherever he's been played every other time for us this season. I think he played on the right wing for a few games. He's played at attacking midfield. He's played at left wing. I think he's played in defensive midfield at one point. But I think definitely that central midfield role, complementing Ozo, he's so comfortable because he's not afraid to put a tackle in. He wins the ball when he does put a tackle in. And then when he gets the ball, he doesn't look backwards. He always turns, looks forward, can pull off a really good pass over the defence sometimes. I think he did it once or twice against QPR where he got the ball to Johnston and to Elder. And I just feel like he didn't put a foot wrong all game and really got about. And I think he got man of the match in the stadium, which I think probably was the right decision, alongside maybe Matt Clark as well. And I think Sanderson probably should get a mention for how consistently good he's been.
Yeah. It's almost like you're reading my mind, all of you, as we go into the next tweet, which is about exactly that one. Luke Brad says he doesn't get much recognition, but some player, Dion, is turning into that back three today. Were unplayable. Play for the badge and Derby fans will back you all the way. Greg says we have to play a back three from now on because I think they are all genuinely undroppable. He's been immense the last few games. Yeah, far cry from our first podcast of the year where he's been called out, but is he one of the first names on the team sheet, Dion?
Right, I'm so angry now because you just beat me to that. Can we go back to that first pod when everyone's having an absolute meltdown over Dion Sanderson? He's crap, he's rubbish, what's he doing at this? Why is he voting from Birmingham? Look at him now. I said he was going to come good, and he is good. He was phenomenal again. That back three with them three is so good. I just feel so secure with that three. I don't want to see a four anymore. A five, yeah, when you're defending, fair enough, we'll have that. But that back three is just perfect for what we play. And they all complement each other all the time. Like midweek, Dion Sanderson came off the pitch, and when he was taking his shorts off, Sargent fell out his pocket because he did nothing. He man-marked him the entire game, couldn't do a lot with the ball. Yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal these last two games.
Let's say it better than that. Stacey, we're not going back to a four then at any point now this season.
Probably not, no. And in all fairness, the three was the one that we looked most comfortable with last season as well. I think we've dropped on it and out of circumstances to a degree. But yeah, I think we've all been just waiting for Langas to come back and then see how it goes, thinking that Sanderson may drop out. But you can't drop Sanderson on the performances he's put in. He just goes about his business. Matt Clark's quite noticeable in the fact he does last-ditch challenges and things like that. Sanderson just seems to be in the right place and reads the game really well and does a lot of work that probably goes unnoticed a lot of the time. But yeah, he's been epic in the last month or so.
Brilliant. Right, let's move on then to the October Player of the Month. Nice to see Derby with some smiles on the face. It's been a bit grim, hasn't it? To be fair, especially on here the last couple of weeks. Right, Peyton, October Player of the Month time, please. Who gets a shout for you?
I think there's three. I think Adjuman gets a mention because I think he's been really good going forward at times, but I don't think he wins it. I think it's got to go to Matt Clark, very closely followed by Carlton Morris.
Okay. Luke?
Yeah, I like those shots from Peyton. I think I am going to edge it for Morris. I just think we've been missing that number 9 for so many years, and we've got him now, and he's just that complete player, and you can see his footballing brain's just unbelievable. So, yeah, I know Colton Morris.
Okay. Stays?
Zetterstrom for me. His kicking and distribution's been really good. Kept it down, kept it to a respectable defeat last Saturday. He was epic again in the first half against Norwich. Kept us in the game. Thoroughly deserves clean sheets, and I think he just seems to be getting better and better as the season goes on as well. So Zetterstrom for me, but don't disagree with the shouts for the Peyton and Luke either, to be fair.
Yeah, all really good shouts there. Thank you. Thank you, fellas. Of course, let us know what you agree with in the comments. Also, help us out in the comments with this next question. Halloween coming up on Friday of this week, so that's prompted us to ask, what's the worst ever horror show you've seen watching watching Derby County? Before you all say there's too many to recall, we're just asking for that one game where you've sat there in the stadium wishing the game to end and then couldn't wait to drive home and forget about it ever since. Stacey, have you got one that springs to mind?
There's quite a few from that fated season of Premiership, but I'm going to go with Peterborough away under Nigel Clough. I think we lost 3-0, and we were just not at the races all match. It was dreadful, but the atmosphere in the away end was very special. But yeah, it was an awful performance.
Okay. Peyton, what's the worst you've ever sat at to watch?
There's two. There's Cardiff away a few seasons ago. We lost 4-0, and I think it's the worst Derby team I've ever seen in my entire life. That team that we brought out, we just got battered all game. And I think also John Eustace's first game in charge, QPR, I thought that whole game we just looked not in the game, and we got battered all game, and I think came out of it pretty worried for our chances of survival.
Good chance, Luke.
I'm going to say with chess now, I have the winner. 2010, we played Scunthorpe at home and lost 4-1. My dad couldn't have grabbed me quick enough out of that ground and said, we're leaving. I've never seen my old man that angry in all my life. Until this day, I still ask him, and he said it's probably the worst Derby game he's ever watched and worst team he's ever seen. So yeah, it must have been that bad. It must have been bad if my own man saying that.
Okay. I'm sure people in the comments are going to help us out here as well. What else? What's the worst ever time you've had watching Derby in a single game? Brilliant shouts, all of those. Thank you very much. Right, it's the Blades up next then, Stace. A couple of weeks ago, this would have been a 6-pointer. But yeah, how would you see this one? Is this a chance to, away from home, sort out kind of the way you've been setting up?
I think we'll go the same as we have done in the last match and a half, really, in that sort of formation. I'd like to see Bobby Clark stay in. I think he's done enough to keep Ebu out because of his ability on ball, and I'd like to see us have a go at them. I think if we do and have a proper go, then 3 points are there for the taking.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton, do you expect this to be a tough game, or do you expect Derby to pick up the 3 points here? They haven't been playing well at all.
I think it will be a tough game. I think Chris Wilder, obviously at Sheffield United, they're at home. Our away form so far this season, I mean, before this week, we'd only won one game and it was away. I feel like there's definitely a chance. I think we can go there and get a win. But I also feel like we could go there and lose. I think it all depends on how we set up, how we start the game. And if we can get a goal early and then almost hold on to a lead, if not extend that lead, going into the second half towards the end, hopefully the substitutions can then have less pressure on them than they have done in other games this season. And I think with that, we could get a good result.
Okay. All right. We'll be reviewing that game this time next week, so join us for that. Finally this week then, we are continuing with the A to Z of Derby County. Now, we can't put Derby in for D, that's cheating, but we can put a player, a result, a famous stadium with Derby got a good result in. Where do we go here? Luke?
I'm going to go with a more recent player, one of my favourite players of recent time. He could arguably be up there with in the Mr. Derby County category. I'm going to go for Curtis Davis. That bloke put his body on the line for us when we needed it most. He signed a waiver to say, I'll play, and if I get injured, that's on my back, that's my fault. And to do that for a club, just testament to the bloke. Absolute fantastic captain, scored some important goals for us, and yeah, I love that bloke to bits.
Okay. Stace?
I'm going to go with Bobby Davidson, first striker that I properly fell in love with as a Derby fan. The last one to score over 100 goals for the club. So yeah, Bobby Davidson for me.
Okay. Peyton?
I think I have to agree with Luke's shout of Curtis Davis. I mean, he came in under the heights of Morris and stuck through definitely the lows, and stuck through the club through admin, was still there when we came out of admin, and put himself about well in that final season. Unfortunate to get sent off in his last game for us, but I feel like I don't think anyone could be annoyed at him for that red card.
Well, you found this all very easy so far, haven't you? The A to Z of Derby. Not a single letter's kind of struggled you. But next week that might all end because, of course, we enter letter E. So join us, of course, for that conversation. Right, you lot, enjoy your trip to Sheffield. Not too far to travel then this week at all. We will see you the other side of that and catch you, hopefully, with another 3 points on the board. Thank you very much for watching. Do drop us a quick like and a subscribe if you haven't yet done so already. We'd be massively grateful for that. We'll see you next week. Have a great time.